I have 30 days to get that 90 overall. What I should be basically doing for the next 30 days? Well, if you're wondering with all these questions, then trust me, today's a perfect PTE practice plan will give you complete insights on how you can divide the time with just 3 hours studying per day for the next 30 days. On the 31st day, I guarantee you will have that 90 overall. Want to make most out of this video? Make sure you watch the video till the end. Hey everybody, Nakul here from SKILLS PTE ACADEMIC. I really hope everybody is doing fantastic. I'm back with yet another super awesome packed video on PTE 30 day 3 hours a day, a perfect plan or a routine. Well, before we get into the video, if not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button. Anytime you need online assistance, it's a paid assistance. You can check the information in the description of this video. We'll have the WhatsApp link. You can click on the link, send us a message. We will do the needful. Also to tell you, recently we released our first official PTE speaking cheat code ebook, a PDF, link in the description. You can buy the ebook, make it yours. It has got everything that one need to get that 90 out of 90 in the PTE speaking. Alright, without any further delay, let's straight away get right into the video. Before we get into the actual routine of 30 days, let's understand how I have divided this routine into 3 hours a day is what I'm asking you. In the 3 hours, 1.5 hours you will give to improve your English. Let's say your English is already like Shakespeare's English, then 1.5 hours you can skip. But most of the people's English is not like Shakespeare, not very up to the mark, very much up to the mark. Then yes, you definitely need to give 1.5 hours, 90 minutes to English improvement. Very shortly, I'll tell you how to work on that. And the rest 90 minutes towards PTE learning. This is the first stage. And then for the first 3 days alone, 27 days is later, first 3 days alone, you will not practice 1.5 hours towards English, but 1.5 hours, 90 minutes you will dedicate to learn the approaches, the mistakes, the real things of the PTE exam. After 3 days is where you start practicing. Hope you're getting it. First 3 days, 90 minutes English improvement, 90 minutes understanding the approach. The rest 27 days, 90 minutes working on English, and 90 minutes a perfect practice plan for your PTE. So when we talk about learning English, let's understand how we can use this 90 minutes to completely work on the things that actually PTE demands. PTE demands you to work on your reading skills, fast reading skills, vocabulary skills, collocation skills, spelling skills, grammar skills, and few other stuff. A 90-minute routine that you're giving should actually, inculcate all these things at once. Likewise, I've made a small routine. 1 hour of reading activity at any cost. You gotta read whatever that lay on your hands. It could be a novel, it could be a sports magazine, it could be a newspaper, anything, whatever that lay on your hands, you gotta read for 1 hour. At any cost, you gotta do this. And when you read a bit faster. Maybe first day it's fine, but second day, third day, fourth day onwards, try to increase the speed. That's where you actually transform. You actually work on your reading skills. The next is 20 minutes of listening to a podcast. You can download Spotify app, or in the YouTube you can check, or iheart.com, englishadept.com, I think adeptenglish.com rather. There are so many podcast websites. On the YouTube you can check, but whenever you listen, try to increase the speed to 1.25x or 1.5x so that even if a fast audio comes in the exam, you will not be surprised. So after 1 hour of reading activity, 20 minutes of listening to a podcast, the remaining 10 minutes of this 90-minute window, you got to dedicate towards spellings. In our course, we have a spelling test every day. But if you don't want to invest on a course, you can use ChatGPT, Gemini app. You can ask them to give you spelling tests or common spelling mistakes people end up doing. So this way you can learn every day some 30-40 spellings. Remember, if you do this for a month, over 1,000 spellings you would have learned. It's very, very important task. Again, I repeat, 1 hour of reading activity, 20 minutes of listening to a podcast, and 10 minutes of spelling. This is routine every day that you need to give at any cost. Let's say you don't have time, you are going to office, you're coming back at 12 o'clock in the midnight, then after 12 o'clock, you give 1.5 hours to this. You follow this strictly, I guarantee you after 30 days, you will have the desired score that you need. So after 3 days, like I told you, 1.5 hours towards English improvement. The remaining 1.5 hours dedicate towards learning all the approaches. Let me give you a quick overview. I'll not bore you to death by giving you complete information like I've done in many videos. I'll just give you a quick overview, probably 2-3 minutes or max 5 minutes I'll take to give you overview of approaches for all the modules that you need to keep in mind. Post that, we will take up a routine, how we can use the routine, and end the video. So rough idea of all the PT approaches is here. PT speaking, remember it's the fluency that wins the race over the content and pronunciation. You got to be fluent, you got to be fluent, you got to be fluent throughout the speaking section. So now what is fluency? Fluency is that smooth, natural, rhythmic speech. Right now I'm talking to you at a smooth, natural, rhythmic speech. I'm not giving enough pauses. I'm trying to speak at a stretch. And whenever I want to pause, let's say there are no full stop, comma, then I take a quick breath and I continue. If there is a comma, full stop, I give a natural pause. Try to be as continuous as possible. Don't have to, hold your breath and do it. Whenever you want to, breathe, you breathe and I continue, but maintain that tempo. This has to be there throughout the speaking. Absolutely no fumbles. You don't have to go very fast. You don't have to go very slow. A natural, comfortable speed. And whenever you speak, open your mouth more and speak. Because when I speak like this, I know you're not able to understand anything. This is how people speak, most of the people in the exam. Open your mouth and speak. You shall have a 90 in your PT speaking. And also remember, you don't have to give emphasis, stressing on the words and grammar, especially in your repeat sentence or read a lecture, response situation for PT core or describe image. Grammar is not important. Whatever you've written, just go on and read, don't come back and correct it. An ideal speed for read aloud would be 12 to 15 seconds. Most probably within this time interval, you should be able to finish it if you're going at an optimal speed. But for lengthy ones, probably it may take 18 to 20 seconds. But overall, usually it is 12 to 15 seconds for read aloud. For describe image, 25 to 30 seconds is ideal. Don't have to speak till 40 seconds. Make your own 3 minimum sentences, little lengthy one, and use a structure. Don't use a lengthy template for describe image. It should be a small structure because templates are banned. Read a lecture, you can use a short template. Don't use a very lengthy template. Little short template like the lecture talked about. In the beginning, speaker explained. This kind of templates, they're called linking words. Linkers you can definitely use. 25 to 30 seconds is more than enough. Don't have to speak till 40 seconds. 4 to 5 phrases will ensure you get a good score towards your listening and speaking. If you can write more, it's a bonus, but if you write less, marks will go down. Respond to situation, any template you use. At the moment, templates are not considered very strictly towards your PT core exam, but at least have 2 or 3 lengthy sentences and just end up speaking for 25 to 30 seconds. This will ensure you get a good score for your PT core exam as well. Now let's quickly move on to the rough idea of PT writing. Remember, writing marks will actually come from reading and listening. From the writing section, it hardly contributes some 20-25 marks and not more than that. Throughout PT writing, it is the grammar and the spelling over anything else. It's a grammar spelling. But what people focus on? Templates. Let's start with summarize written text. I'm telling you a very simple basic approach that any AI can give you good scores, not just a person. Take 2 complete, random, full sentence, not half. Entire sentence. If possible, don't take very complex, lengthy sentences. A simple sentence, probably 10-15 words or 20 word, one sentence is enough. Take 2 sentences, in between them add a comma and a connector. Very, very important. You got to add a comma and a connector, but or and towards the end put a full stop. Once you add a connector, the very next letter after the connector, make sure it is starting with a small letter. Towards the end, don't forget to put a full stop. 25 to 50 words for PT core, 5 to 75 words for PT academic. My recommendation is 35 to 40 words for both the exams. Would definitely give you a very good score towards your writing. Let's have a quick overview of essay writing. Very simple. Don't rely on the template. Any template is fine as long as that template demands you to write 5 sentences on your own with a mixture of simple, compound and complex sentences. Make sure you have the enough linking words in the template that you use. Spelling and grammar makes a huge difference. It's not the content again, but yes, after the recent update, even in essay writing, you need to answer the prompt. Whatever the question asked, you need to answer exactly to the prompt. You completely deviate, marks also will completely get deviated. How about the word count for essay writing? Ideal is probably 210, 220 or 230, 240 is enough. Don't have to write till 290 only because the more you write, the more mistakes you make. How about email writing? Email writing, what matters the most is answering to the prompt. If there are 3 bulletin questions asked, you need to address them separately. Email conventions are very, very important. For a formal letter writing, use the formal template. For informal, use the informal template. For the formal, use the formal tone, respected tone. And for an informal question, use a friendly tone. So all these are very, very important. And then this opening salutations, closing one, respectfully, all these are very, very important because software is very much strict towards all these things, if you just give this, probably you'll have a wonderful score even in the PTE core exam. Now a rough idea about PTE reading: skip to single answer, choose multiple answer. Don't worry, they are not a priority. Even if you just randomly select one and move on, you can get 90. Reorder the paragraph, not a priority. 1.5 minute max you can give, not more than that if it is taking a lot of time. Still, randomly drag and drop some answer and move on to the next question. This is not still important. So after saying this, now let's talk about the important section. Reading fill in the blank and reading writing fill in the blank. These two contributes probably 45 to 50 marks towards your reading, 25 plus marks towards your writing. What matters here is the approach. You cannot just rely on reading the entire content for all the questions, because time is very crucial. On an average, Pearson is giving probably 2 minutes per question and not more than that. But since you skip, choose single answer, choose multiple answer, and reorder the paragraph, you're not giving a lot of time. You will have on an average 2.5 minutes per question towards your reading. Fill in the blank and reading, writing, fill in the blank. So few of the questions which are very difficult, you can take 3-4 minutes. Few of them which are very easy, you got to do less than 1 minute. So on an average, you can still perform any reading FIB or writing fill in the blanks or FIB in less than 2.5 minutes if possible. The only thing that matters here is you cannot keep reading word by word. You have to skim it, get a gist of it. And then you have to apply grammar and collocation rules. Using these rules, you can actually solve the questions like this. If there are 45 to 50 blanks, 10 questions, 5 reading FIB, 5 reading writing FIB. Let's say each question has 5 blanks, 5 to 10, 50. Let's say 50 questions, minimum 20 to 25 blanks will be based on grammar and collocations for sure. So if you know the grammar and collocation shortcuts, you can solve it like this. Check my 6-hour full course video on FIB, reading FIB alone if you have not yet. That lists down all the collocation rules, grammar rules. They all come handy to solving the reading fill in the blanks and writing fill in the blanks as well. Now let's take up a rough idea of listening module. Remember, listening module has 8 sections, but what gives you mark is only 4 sections. First is summarize spoken text. For PTE Academic, write 4 minimum phrases, if possible 5 phrases. Use a short template. Don't use very lengthy ones. A short template, something of a written lecture template, you can use it here. What makes a difference is your grammar and spelling and not just the content. Remember, summarize spoken text contributes marks to your listening and writing both. Probably 2 questions, you can expect some 8 to 10 marks and not more than that. PTE core, the word count is only 20 to 30 words. On the other hand, for PTE Academic is 50 to 70 words. PTE Academic, you write 65 words, 66, 67, 68 words ideal. For PTE core, it's only 20, 30 words. So 28 words, 29 words you write. Minimum 2 phrases, if possible 3 phrases. Use a very short template like firstly, secondly, furthermore, if possible, if you have written enough content. After this, the very important section is listening fill in the blanks. 12 to 15 marks you can expect from this module to listening separately and writing separately. Very, very important, and what matters here is the spelling and the listening skills. These two we are working every day in that 90-minute time interval, listening to a podcast and spelling. You do that, this module is fixed. After that, the number of modules that come, you need to skip. Choose single answer, choose multiple answer, select missing word, highlight correct summary. Highlight correct summary is not there for PTE core, they themselves have removed it. For PTE Academic, it is there. Don't worry, all this 4, randomly click one and move on, do not carry any marks. Next comes highlight incorrect words. Again, very important but very, very simple one. It tests your listening and reading skills. So it contributes marks to listening and reading. Negative marking is there. Be very careful. If you select something, then only negative marking gets applicable. If you don't select the correct answer also, then there is no negative marking. So in doubt, don't have to select anything. But the module will be so easy and important. Try to give your best. Only in worst case, let's say you have a doubt if this was an incorrect word or not, you can skip it. If you select and if that was not an incorrect word, then negative marking gets applicable. Be very careful. After this comes the last section called write from dictation. You got to have minimum 3 to 4 minutes by the time you reach here. Timer will be displayed on the top right. Entire listening is timed. So if you skip the sections that I just told you a couple of minutes ago, then you will have 3+ minutes left to solve your write from dictation at ease in a very calm way. If you don't skip those sections that I just talked about, like choosing an answer, choose multiple answers, highlight correct summary, select missing words, you do them, crack your head. By the time you come to write from dictation, you will have 1 minute left, 4 questions or 3 questions are there. Then you miss the questions because timer ran off, then gone case. Be very careful. Write from dictation contributes 40 plus marks towards your listening and writing both. Very, very crucial. You can add extra words, add extra spellings, all those things. You can definitely do it, but when you add extra words, it has to match to the question audio. If it is not matching, then you don't get the scores. What's more important in write from dictation is not just the strategies that I just told you of adding extra words. It is more about listening skills. Meaning you listen, understand, divide them into phrases and then write. To work on the listening skills, every day 20-30 minutes of podcast will actually come handy. You cannot miss the routine. You cannot make your own routine. Whatever the routine that I just told you has been meticulously, carefully, diligently crafted, considering the number of modules, what it tests, what kind of skills we need to enhance, and lot many things. So it's not like novel I'll read for 1 hour and podcast I missed today. No, you got to do it. You have to do it. Whatever I've given, you got to do it. Now the quick overview, the approach is all done. So first 3 days are over, let's assume. Now the 4th day until 30th day, almost 26 days we have. How we should divide the 90-minute with the perfect practice plan. Let's unveil. So from the day 4, before we get into the perfect practice plan for PTE, let's again recapitulate the English improvement plan. 90 minutes, 1 hour of reading activity, 20 minutes of podcast and 10 minutes of spelling. If possible, if you can squeeze in extra time, there's a game called Dual and Back. It helps you increase your working memory, helps you in written lecture, summarize spoken text, write from dictation, repeat sentence, wherever the module tests 2 things at once. Listening, writing, listening, speaking. Then this app will help you squeeze the time, at least 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. If you can squeeze extra time for Dual and Back, it does magic. Now we will unveil the perfect practice plan for a mere 90 minutes, 5 minutes of speaking template. Every day you just speak this with no intention of memorizing it. You try to memorize, you will have the fear associated with it. What if I forget? Don't memorize, just speak. Describe image as a template, written lecture as a template, summarize spoken text. If you're using the same template of written lecture, then there is no additional template, 2 templates are over, and essay. Or if you're doing email writing. So it's just the 3 templates, just speak them once. It will take 2-3 minutes, I've written 5 minutes, or maybe you can speak them twice. Do it every day. In 10 days or 11th day, you will have that in your mouth, registered so firmly that you cannot forget it ever. Just like how our national anthem of our own country is registered just because we spoke every day in the assembly. So that is the magic of this rote learning, meaning learning by repetition. 5 minutes of template just to speak every day, more than enough. Next is speaking. You got to do 5 minutes of read aloud. Enough. Because you're already reading for 1 hour. You don't need to again practice read aloud because reading a novel or read aloud is the same. 5 minutes of read aloud, 5 minutes of repeat sentence because you're listening to a podcast. Should be more than enough. And also you do some write from dictation, listening activity is happening. So 5 minutes of repeat sentence and 5 minutes of read aloud is what I would suggest. And then 5 describe image questions. Each question is 40 plus 25 seconds. It should end in less than 1 minute. So it's probably 5 minutes and should not take more than that. 2 to 3 questions of written lecture, again some 5 minutes. Written lecture or respond to situation. Answer short question, no need to practice. So it's 5 minutes of read aloud, 5 minutes of repeat sentence, 5 minutes of describe image, 5 minutes of written lecture. Many are wondering, is it really possible? It is possible to get 90 with this, provided 1.5 hour you are giving to English improvement. You don't give English improvement 1.5 hour. Here you give 10 hour, also scores will not come up. And also most importantly, whenever you practice this 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes of read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell or respond to situation. Turn the TV on, because in the exam it will not be complete soundproof environment, correct? Everybody will be shouting. It's more like a fish market. Turn the TV on, increase it to maximum speed and then start practicing. In the exam you don't feel surprised at all. So after this, 3 days once, I repeat, 3 days once you practice 1 summarized written text, 1 essay or email and 1 summarized spoken text. All these are not priority. I have seen people focusing only on these 3. Every day for 10 hours, 12 hours, checking templates in different websites and seeing which one is giving more scores. Guys, apply the common sense. Nobody has the Pearson software. All the things in the third-party applications, we are not sure whether they have coded in a way how the Pearson software works. And these are very low priority module. You get writing 90 not because of the template, but because of the reading and listening section. I again repeat, 3 days once, 1 summarized written text, 1 summarized spoken text and 1 essay. You can review it yourself or some apps or some ChatGPT, anything you do accordingly, but practice 1 each, 3 days once should be more than enough. After this, for the reading section, 5 reading fill in the blanks. 12 to 15 minutes, and 5 reading, writing, fill in the blanks, 12 to 15 minutes. So 30 minutes of reading practice every day is what I'm asking you. Along with that, 1.5 hours you will be focusing towards English improvement. That should really do the magic. And then in the listening section, only 2 sections you practice every day. Listening, fill in the blanks, 5 questions you take, probably 15 minutes, and 10 write from dictation. Each question 1 minute, not more than that, 10 minutes. And then to analyze all the mistakes, you got to sit in a corner of a room and try to understand, why am I not able to get full marks in write from dictation? Why am I falling for the traps in reading FIB? Why am I fumbling a lot in repeat sentence? Analyze, analyze, analyze. Put all the thoughts, right thoughts to the subconscious. Consciously you are aware what you're doing, but subconsciously you're not. Those 5 minutes in the end, wherein you analyze your mistakes, becomes very, very important. So overall, including the speaking, the templates, 25 minutes for speaking, 30 minutes for reading. So overall, this only becomes 55 minutes. So overall, it's 5 minutes of speaking templates, some 20 minutes of speaking, some 30 minutes of reading, and then some 20-25 minutes with respect to write from dictation and listening, fill in the blanks, and 5 minutes to analyzing all the mistakes that you've done. Overall, this contributes to close to 1.5 hours and 1.5 hours towards the English improvement. Now the next big question, where to practice all these things? If you join our course, you get all these things in a course. But yes, if you don't want to invest in a course because of various reasons, see, I'm telling you frankly, any websites will do, but don't blindly believe this course. Maybe some websites give the right score, some may not. Some may have really, took a lot of time to make this course analogous with or same as the one that you get in the Pearson software. Some may not. So we don't know exactly. So don't blindly believe this course. You know the approach. With that approach, if you have spoken, or with that approach, if you have written, you should get good scores. If that website is giving good scores, then yes, it is maybe similar to what Pearson gives. If it is not giving, then probably it has been just coded the way, taking help from some third-party applications, and those third-party applications are just giving you fluency, content, and pronunciation scores. So you can practice, but don't blindly believe the AI scores that you see in all the websites. Well, I really hope this was an informative content, giving you step-by-step analysis, step-by-step explanation on how to dedicate your time 3 hours each day towards the PTE exam and how to get that 90. Well, if you believe the content was informative, like, share and subscribe, and leave your valuable comments in the comment section. With this, I'm going to park the video here. This is Nakul, Nakul signing off from Skills PTE. Soon we'll be back. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks much.